Shelly, what are some of the symptoms or signs of a sugar addiction?
Well, when you've lost the power to choose whether you're going to have it or not, it's the I have to. So when you're out of control, you're addicted. To me, the way I see addiction is it's the I have to have that. It's not, oh, I think I'll have that, that would be nice.
Well, what does that feel like for someone? I mean, just I've got to have that candy bar, or when you're, is there a certain number of candy bars a day, or is there something that someone could really
if you are driven towards any behavior, whether it's sugar or anything else, then you are in prison. You are in prison. That's bondage. When you have to, and you feel like you don't have a choice, that's prison. If you have that around sugar, that's what I would consider to be a prison. And I've lived in that prison, and I know it very, very well.
And how does the book help a person break out of that sugar prison?
Well, the book is a twofold process. It is nutritional to help balance out your blood sugar, which is very helpful, very essential. And it's also about getting to the root of what we call compulsion. And the methods that are presented in the book, if one practices those consistently, and also with some guidance, they will be able to break out of the sugar prison.
Now, by the root of the compulsion, you mean actually get to the thoughts and body sensations that drive the compulsion. Is that correct?
Yes.
So that's what you mean specifically by that.
Yes.
And to be able to identify them and deal with them.
Yes.
And is there any other book or program out there today that does that same thing that you know of?
Of the books that I know of regarding sugar addiction, no. No. Mindfulness is not just, working with your feelings, working your emotions. It's getting to the root. It's getting to the depths of human suffering. You get very specific about what this compulsion is. And this method actually is called divide and conquer. So we get this thing called I have to have that. And we get a really good look at what that I have to is, specifically in terms of what Shinzen was discussing, self-talk, mental pictures, emotional or physical body sensation. And so if we can bring mindful awareness to each piece of that compulsion, then the compulsion diminishes and ultimately disappears 100%.
I know there must be a lot of people looking at this video right now and asking themselves, why is this different? Why should I believe, break out of the sugar prison more than anything else I've done? What would you have to say to them?
Well, most, especially books, are about nutrition only. Now, we have that part. Paul and I have that part in our book. A very excellent, sound nutritional program will help you understand the correct foods to eat that help your blood sugar, which is very important for overcoming sugar addiction. And I have found that to be very important. But what's different about this book is it's way deeper than just a nutritional program and changing one's diet or just eliminating certain foods.
So is it dealing with the root cause of addiction?
Yes, addiction in general. And this will generalize into other aspects, other compulsive behaviors in your life. So really this book is not just about sugar. This is about every aspect of human drivenness. And that's what suffering is. It's the drive to cling and the drive to push away. Right. Exactly. Well, and this is not like about weight loss. I mean, yes, of course, you will lose weight if you eliminate your sugar consumption. But this is so far beyond weight loss. Anybody can lose weight. But what happens after that? Why do you go back? That's what we're interested in.
In other words,
that's
to
why
deal with the root cravings.
Yes, weight loss programs fail. Because, you can lose the weight, but then what? Then when the poison and pain that's deep in your unconscious starts to surface, you don't have any way to deal with that.
You dealt with sugar addiction for a long time. And how did you overcome it?
Well, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare, and it started when I was 9, probably 9 years old. It really, really, really was, by the time I was 17, that's when it really took off. It was a nightmare, and I at one point was on welfare. Now they call it something else maybe, but welfare and food stamps. I ate all my food stamps in 3 days. And
what would you eat?
What would I eat?
Uh-huh.
Oh, just sugar, just candy and
Junk
donuts.
Food,
That's it.
Pinkies,
Most of my intake of substances was sugar. It wasn't even food a lot of times. So, but it was an absolute nightmare that I never ever imagined I could come out of. This is like a dream for me. It's a dream.
So it
Because
took you a long time?
I don't have any cravings for sugar today. I mean, zero. It's zero. It's not part of my life. And after overcoming the sugar part, then the food addiction, which of course oftentimes goes along with sugar addiction, addiction to other foods, that came gradually. And today I consider myself to be a normal person. Not that I never want to eat too much of something, but it's like a miracle. It's a dream come true. You know, Roger, I got to a point when I was 25. I remember my sugar addiction was so overwhelming, along with the other emotional issues that I had, that I would literally walk around the streets of Berkeley, just all day long, just eating sugar, just going into different stores eating sugar.
What kind? Not just raw sugar. I mean, like what? Donuts,
and candy, and cake, and yes.
Did you
candy.
crave that? I mean,
oh yes, it was overwhelming. And
what would it feel like when you tried to quit or cut down?
It was a nightmare. You know, I just couldn't last. I couldn't last for a minute with a craving. I was driven. I used to have to stop at every store. I remember trying to drive home from work this is when I was 19. And I'd have to stop every few minutes to go into another place to buy some more sugar. So it was very hard getting home. It took me a while. I'd have to keep stopping.
So was there a significant point, like hitting bottom, that in your sugar use, that you just said, I can't go on like this? And if there was, what did you do about it?
Well, you know, there were many bottoms, actually. And the whole process was very gradual. And once I started being able to locate my compulsions as a mind-body process, rather than this demon coming out of the sky, then I started to make progress gradually. So I'd be able to notice that, oh, this craving I have, it's right here in my chest. Oh, this craving I have is right here in my back. And oh, that craving involves a mental picture of that thing I want. Or some self-talk, like, oh, I gotta have that or I'm gonna die. Once I started being able to manage those components, and this is over time, there was a gradual recovery. And then I hit a point where the whole thing it was like over. So you see what I mean? It was gradual, and then a point where it was over, gone, and has never returned.